AI coming up, it was someone's idea. But this idea was not just an idea, it was an innovative idea. So you can call it was an innovation. But now technology comes in to bring now the tools, to bring the platform that enables now continuity of innovation. So they kind of work hand in hand.
Actually, so it's more like a bicycle now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Lead Series podcast. I'm your co-host for the day, Thomas Ayuaki, and I'm joined by
Castro Mbiti.
And it's a pleasure to have you join us on this specific episode. Now, our goal is to essentially continue the discussion that we were having around innovation and technology, and more specifically, explore how it's impacting the socioeconomic landscape here in Kenya. And to help us have this discussion is a young man who is well versed in the space of software engineering and machine learning, and is also a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador and Google Developers
Students Club.
Yeah, Google's Developers Student Club. So you're already noticing that he's somebody who's very, very in tune with what's happening. So I'll let him introduce himself, and then we can be able to go further with the interview. So karibu.
Thank you so much. So my name is Mark Gatere. I am a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, as they have said, and also a Google Developer Students Club lead at the Kimathi University of Technology. So that means I'm a student. Besides that, I am a developer, that is a software developer. I deal with front-end technologies like React and Next.js, and also some background in machine learning. So that is Mark Gatere in a nutshell.
Okay. So you are in which year now in campus?
Currently, I'm in third year.
Third year? Yeah. And you're doing that much? That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I wanted us to just take a few steps back a little bit and, start from you telling us where this all began. Where did your passion for IT start, and how have you nurtured it as the years have gone on?
So my passion for technology, if I'm to backtrack some years back, it began in my early years in high school. When I was in a computer studies class, that is because we had those subjects, and I got into that class and I was like, this is my thing. This is something that interests me, because besides biology and when we're all getting into high school, everyone wanna become a pilot, you wanna become a doctor. So then you haven't found your purpose yet, or you haven't found your goal or your journey yet. So after we now get into the subjects, now we are in Form 2, and then you start realizing, this biology, it seems that we are not at par with it. Or I initially wanted to become a doctor, now it's a nurse, then possibly next you don't know what you want to become. So then I found computer studies class, and I was like, this is my thing. This is something that interests me. So that's when I continued now focusing on computer, and now started my research, because I wouldn't say I was that guy who used to rush into finding things out, trying to see how things are working, because initially in that computer studies class, what we had these Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel. So that those are the things that we used to do. Where everything came up and I had this spark in me is when, because I have gone to two high schools. That is, the first high school was known as Dawamu School. The second one was known as Machago School. That's where I did my Form 4. That is where I did my KCSE. So at Dawamu School, the computer students, that is the computer teacher, invited a guest who was working at Modcom. It's a training institute to teach us about programming. So he came there and he told us about HTML, CSS, and I was like, wait, besides Microsoft Word, you mean computers can do other things like
world,
because at that moment you could, when you build something small and styled, then you can open it on the browser. You are like, wow, I can. This is the same thing that I normally do to Facebook. I go to facebook.com, and this time we are building something and now opening it on the browser. So that really inspired me now into getting into software or into computers more. And that is where my journey began. So after I did my Form 4, I was in the team that was affected by COVID. So we were told to to go back. That is in our Form 4, but we were told to go That is, all the schools were closed,
and
we were told to go home. So in the course of my time at home, we have no assignments, we have nothing because it was urgent. Schools have to close. We went, and after we closed school, I tried to figure out now. I tried to dig deeper because this time I have a lot of time. I don't have assignments. It's an indefinite holiday. So I was like, let me try and now research and find now what I want to do in software, because now this time I'm not doing computer studies. Now it's more of a career thing that I want to pursue. So in the course of my research, I tried to find out different fields in tech. I used to go to cyber because I didn't have a computer. The first laptop that I had was when I was joining campus. So it's in my Form 4. Going to cyber, attempt downloading some documentaries, some tech documentaries, some resources, and coming back at home. Even I remember there's a day that we had some conflict with my dad. He kept on reminding me, you are a Form 4. This thing will not be tested in a KCSE. So in the course of that, because I used to stay overnight with his phone. I didn't have a phone. With his phone, I used to go download the courses, then have them in flash drive. So that is when even I knew how to use this OTP link or something that you can link up the flash drive and work with the and then view the files that are in the flash drive using the phone. So I used his phone to study and to just learn one, two things in tech, and that's how I found my path. And after joining campus, I found a very awesome community. Awesome people who now, from that point now, that's when I joined, and to date now.
Amazing. It's always funny that, we all seem to be having similar stories in terms of when we started interacting with tech. I even remember having relatives telling me, hiyo ina kazi huko mbele.
Definitely.
So that they weren't connecting with the fact that this was going to be as big as it is now. So that's always fun to kind of, you had your first laptop when you're in campus.
Yeah, when I'm joining campus, because I'm joining IT, I'm coming to pursue IT. So I told them I need a laptop.
Okay. Actually,
Nice.
that's where maybe you're a little bit lucky, because I know for you, Castro, for you and me, I got my first laptop after, I think, my first internship. So I was using the school library from time to time to kind of access and learn in real time. But it's always funny to see how those stories interconnect. So,
And I like your story, Mark. It's a very inspiring story. But I'd like to understand something. When you were beginning your journey in high school, did you have any particular role models or people that you were looking up to back then?
Not really, because at that time, you just have uncles who are telling you, continue working hard, and not all who have made it out there, not really making it, but they, for instance, you can refer to them like a doctor, or you have an engineer who can look up to. So they are not that into big roles. So at that time, you were just learning because your parent expects you to be in school and to study. So I had people who, I wouldn't say I had mentors, but I had people who I would go for advice possibly, but it was not necessarily tech. As opposed now to when I'm done with my Form 4, that's when I focused, because I have a cousin who was now pursuing computer science, and I've now known my path. But now in high school, I didn't really have mentors per se, but I had people who used to guide me and to give me advice in regards to life issues. And,
in terms of, which is usually very important, because again, it's very rarely will you find somebody who's in the same field that you're in, but you find some of the advice that they give you, the philosophy, how you carry yourself around opportunities, those are things that cut across. So going into campus, what are some of the challenges you faced maybe in your pursuit of a career field, especially in the first and second year? How did you navigate? Because there's something I read that was very, very interesting on your LinkedIn bio. Most of your skills are self-taught. So just talk to us about that environment, some of the lessons, some of the challenges you faced, and how that shaped your mindset moving forward.
Wow, thank you so much. So as for any journey, mine too had challenges. That is, as I'm growing and as I'm learning more so after I got even into campus. Because I am into campus, I know I want to get into tech, but I don't know I want to go where into tech. Because I have, technology is broad. I know I want to become to get into software, I want to deal with computers. But I don't know the specific place I want to get into. More so after joining communities and you're told there's blockchain, there's cybersecurity, there's artificial intelligence, there's web development.
It can be intimidating.
And you're like, I wanted to get into tech, but I'm also now stranded. I mean, dilemma, I don't know which path to take. Because for the leads that we found there who are leading the Google Developer Students Club and also who are the MLSs then, that is the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors then, they hosted the sessions. So for instance, on Wednesday, you find out that there's an AI session, there's a web session, there's a cybersecurity. So you have to select one session to attend, but you have passion in tech, but you don't know where you want to go into. And one thing I found that was a challenge was also finding my path where I want to end up to. Also, I know I want to get into tech, and that is a challenge actually that a number of people I've seen a number of people face because there's nothing as dangerous that I normally tell some friends of mine as knowing your destination, but you don't know the path to take. For instance, assuming I knew I was coming here, I could have taken any path, but it could have led me here. But one would have taken me 5 hours. Another one would have taken even 2 years. Possibly I could have decided to go to London, then go to then come back. I know the destination, but the path to get the destination is a challenge. So that is one of the challenges that I faced, not knowing where I want to get into. Not knowing whether I want to get into community, whether I want to pursue, because community development, you find out that we're also dealing with technology, but we are doing it to help other students also upskill and everything. That is like the MLSs. So I didn't have a specific place that I want to settle. That's why I also started with machine learning. Then I found myself in web development. So one of the challenges was finding my path. The other challenge was finding resources and how I could access. There were resources that there were physical resources. These are the students who used to talk to us when we go for those sessions. But now finding the resources where you can have your time and study, it was a challenge because when you go to YouTube, almost everything is there. You don't know if you are looking for a machine learning course. You find you have 20 machine learning courses. You don't know the best. You don't know which one to start with. So at times you find yourself in that tutorial hell where you're done with this and then you say, let me also try this one. Possibly it has something that I didn't study. So also finding the resources was a challenge. But currently everything is getting easier after understanding my field and understanding the things I want to get into. So that was also a challenge, finding the resources. And also initially from the word go, getting mentors. Or people to also support you and to give you advice. Because if I got mentors from the word go, they could have told you, okay, use this resource possibly. This is the best way to go in case you want to get into AI, in case you want to get into web development. So that is from the word go. People came to support me later after I've started showing interest in the field, after I started networking, attending events. So initially from the word go, it was a challenge, but now it became I got a solution that is from people who came up and they supported me in my journey.
And I'd like to ask something, Mark. You began with machine learning and later transitioned to software development. So what made you change, and at which point did you decide that no, I don't want to do machine learning and I want to shift to software development?
Awesome. So let me start with my journey, how my journey in machine learning came about. So after I did my Form 4, that is after we are now expecting to join a university campus. I'm still doing my research. And in the course of research, I'm also watching documentaries. So in the course of my research, I find an awesome documentary by name, it's called AlphaGo Movie. So it's not a movie really, but it's on YouTube by Google DeepMind, where they shared their progress in. It was in 2016 when they created this AI bot, which was known as AlphaGo, that beat another guy known as Lisido in a board game known as Go, which is a very complex game. So when I was watching that documentary, I was like, wow, this is what AI can do. This is fun. I think this is I can start with this field. I can check it out. I think I can get into machine learning or AI. So that's when I also continued researching about robots, how the robots work and everything. So that's how I found myself in machine learning. So later, after machine learning, in about some time of learning Python, then getting to machine learning, and even I was made the machine learning lead by the previous GDSC lead. So I'm the machine learning lead at Dekut. I have mentors at this time, people who I'm looking forward to. I'm inquiring about the field and everything. One thing I came to learn is that it takes some time before you transition from machine learning learner to a machine learning engineer. Because even to become a machine learning intern or a junior developer, it will take you about 2 years. That is now machine learning itself. That is now after researching and seeing everything that you need to learn, everything how you are to build up projects. Because at times you find people you are competing with are juniors, but they have even published research papers which have been featured. So I saw, okay, what is my goal? Is my goal to faster get into this field, or my goal is to first get into the industry? Because I had that intention of I want to get into the industry. I want to become a developer. Even before I use these 2 years, I want to become a developer. I want to start something. Besides the personal projects, I want to have that team where I can feel I'm in a team, we are working on a project or something. So after that, I saw that this will take me some time. And after also researching and also inquiring from some people, they told me it's easier to transition as a machine learning engineer when you are in a company. For instance, assuming I'm in a company currently, I'm in a department that is the front-end development team, it's easier for me to transition to a machine learning team once I have the skills and like applying for a role that is open. So after doing some analysis and seeing, okay, I can work with this way, I decided to go into front-end or web development, which will take me a shorter, because I still have interest in it. I still find myself, not that I'm doing it just for the job, I still find myself with that excitement when I'm building UIs and everything. So I decided, let me just take this path. Once I'll be coming back, possibly I'll be coming back to machine learning, because it was a field that really interested me too. I can transition when I'm in a company. The company that I'll be in, if I'm in as a developer, I can transition to machine learning. So that's the reason why I transitioned, because of the time duration.
You explained it very well, and I think most of us guys in tech, there's that confusion. Like, you're not sure where exactly will you go. Are you going to data science? Are you going to machine learning? Are you going to cybersecurity? Like, it's a confusion that I don't know we will ever come to sort that out. But I feel like your explanation is very well like detailed. And Tom, I think you remember I mentioned that I started with data science and the confusion came a long way, and I switched to software development. But it's good. Thank you very much.
And for me, I've always and I think that's one of the reasons why I got inspired to go into ICT for development, because that challenge for me is easily solvable by this information curation, and that's what we try. And even when we were implementing programs at the coastal region, and I was working with the lecturers, I think one of the things I was just trying to kind of educate them on is on how you share this information, because again, first contact is usually very important. And so on the first day, if I bombard Mark with all of these different opportunities within digital, they'll be like, hey, okay, so where do I start? But there's something that is you mentioned that's very, very important, which is just decision-making based on entry point to the industry. Again, that's not something that's talked about as much maybe as it needs to, because again, people just think, okay, I want to be in machine learning, I want to be in cybersecurity, and just pinpoint towards that. Anything else that's outside there is not relevant. And that's why you see a lot of people performing very, very well, but not transitioning to the job and entrepreneurial space. So I think that's something that needs to be talked about. Do you find yourself talking about that with some of the students?
Yeah, absolutely. I do, because a number inquire on that, because to date, some people still are becoming in machine learning, and they because at times I also integrate some AI bots into the project that I'm building. If it's a web application, I possibly make an API. I hit that is the OpenAI API. So you find out there's some AI in my project. So people still think I'm in machine learning. But I normally tell them that there's the difference between that, building that AI using the endpoint, and there's now building the AI itself. That is the model from scratch. And that is the one that takes time. That's when someone can call you a machine learning engineer.
Okay.
Because now that you are now building the model and coming up with it from scratch. So that I normally tell them, a number of them inquire, why did you transition to this? And I tell them the same thing. This can take you time. If you're committed, if it's really your thing, you can still commit yourself into it, and you'll eventually make it in the field. But if you feel that you want to get into the industry, then later transition possibly into the specific field, you can take the different path, because the goal is a destination where you want to end up to.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So there's something I also saw. A big part of this interview will be me showing you exactly how much talking I did on your online profiles, but I hope you don't mind.
I don't mind.
So So there's a very powerful statement I saw on your LinkedIn bio. I think it's around, and you can correct me if I mess up the quote. It's around you being inspired, being powered by the intersection between innovation and technology. So my question to you is, how do you see the two correlate, given the experience you've had right now as a software engineer and also as a machine learning enthusiast? How do you see these two spaces correlate?
Wow. So technology and innovation, more so when I talk about the intersection, I feel like these two fields, they have a symbiotic relationship. So one thing is that technology provides the tools and the platform to enable innovation. For instance, the advent of cloud computing. As you can see, currently startups, they are able to scale up and also to build their application faster on cloud. That is just an example in technology. Earlier, better or faster than before. And as you can see in technology, it kind of builds up the opportunities for enabling innovation, as I've stated. Then innovation itself, you find out that innovation, it brings about this concept of new technologies. What I don't know whether I'll be confusing myself and confusing you as I say.
No, it's okay.
So let me just try and explain it in a simpler way. For instance, assuming that I have an idea. The idea will either to come up with something new or to upscale something that is existing. And if I come up with something new or I'll build upon something that is existing to scale it up or to kind of solve a problem that existing problem is not solving, that can be referred like a new technology. But it's an innovation that I have. So in relation to now innovation and technology, I feel like they correlate and they work together because these are, when you have an innovation or you have a new idea, this brings about a new technology. Because AI coming up, it was someone's idea. But this idea was not just an idea, it was an innovative idea. So you can call it was an innovation. But now technology comes in to bring now the tools, to bring the platform that enables now continuity of innovation. So they kind of work hand in hand.
Actually, so it's more like a bicycle now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Moreover, one thing I would like to mention is that an idea is not just an idea. Even though it's an idea and it's not solving a problem or a real world problem, or it's not coming in to help people, because I can just have an idea. I can say, for instance, I have an idea of designing slippers for cows. That's an idea too. I say I want to design slippers for cows.
You mean actual slippers?
Actual slippers. It's an idea. But what problem is it solving possibly?
Castro was lost for me. Slippers for cows.
But
anyway.
The catch comes here where you say, what problem is it solving? Is it innovative? Is it? So that's why I see an idea is not just an idea. And I would like to quote what the CEO of Google said. He's called Sundar Pichai. He once said a very good quote that I used when I'm talking to people about Sundar Pichai. He said that it is the idea that matters. It doesn't matter where you come from or where your background is. One revolutionary idea, meaning that one innovation, one brilliant invention can unleash other entrepreneurs to revolutionize industries in ways you can never imagine. So meaning that innovations it has to be something that is brilliant. It has to be something that is problem solving. Yeah. So now if I go back now to your query on regards to technology and innovation, they kind of work together because innovation brings new technologies, and then these technologies will create now the tools to enable now innovations.
Yeah.
So as you can see, AI. Let me just also highlight on that. AI is a technology, but you're seeing people coming up with innovations using AI to solve things in medicine, in terms of in fields like medicine, that is healthcare.
Agriculture.
Absolutely. So they kind of work together. That's why I have stated there at the intersection of technology and innovation.
That's a very good explanation by the way. I think those are some of the things I'm sure people would want to try and understand, especially that relationship between innovation and technology. I think you've captured that well. I know Castro maybe.
I had one question for Mark, and if we're still on innovation and technology. So do you have any specific project you have worked on where innovation and technology came together to solve a problem or to create a solution?
Yeah, sure. So if to state, there's a project by name LeBora. It's one of the projects, and there's another one that is currently in the process. So I have a number of projects that are in the pipeline, but them that I would say that are kind of innovative and they are problem solving, and they are also making use of technology. It's like LeBora. So if I'm to give to explain about LeBora, it was actually a project that we built in a hackathon that was happening at school. The idea came up when we have the hackathon, and you have been grouped into groups. Then you have to come up with an idea, then to pitch. Because it was an overnight thing, you have to pitch in the morning. So you have to do. That's how most hackathons happen. One full night, come up with the.
Is it like coding kahawa?
Yes, something similar, but now this time it's not coding. You're brainstorming an idea. So if you come up with the slides. If you have additional time, come up with a prototype. So so we are doing it overnight. We are still coding. We are still coming up with the slides, but the end goal is to have an idea that you're gonna pitch, something you're gonna pitch there and show them from the problem that you are solving, the solution you're providing, the scale of the market, your revenue, how you'll get your revenue. So LeBora now, if I'm to explain about LeBora, we were in that state where we are grouped and we don't know what to do. And we had a number of people who were new because it was announced to all the students to register for the hackathon. It was known as I2B, ideation to business. So we went there, we have been grouped, and then we are like, what do we do? So that's when one of the students came up with an idea. We can build this project. We can work on this. But then one of the judges, they were also going around because we didn't know who the judges were, but they were to go around, those people who had been invited as guests. They were to go around and also help us think.
Plant seeds here.
So they came and asked us a number of questions about LeBora. They kind of helped us tune it to a level of to a level of it being a project that is kind of local, a local project that can be welcomed locally. So LeBora is a platform that suggests meal plan, AI-powered meal. It's an AI-powered platform that suggests meal plan, depending on your location, and also the BMI, and also age, and I think those are and also in case you have any underlying medical condition. So you just give it those variables. Then after you submit, it gives you a meal plan that is in line with your place. If you are in Kenya, it gives you a meal plan. At times you'll see it telling you Mahindi Choma. And you it will also tell you Ndoma.
So it also takes care of regional biasness from time to time.
Absolutely.
Oof. That's but then let me tell you that to me was I think as I was going through some of the stuff that Castro sent me, I think that stood out to me above everything else, because let me tell you, to get to a point where you have a meal plan, not a decision to manage the way you eat, but an entire meal plan,
and not a menu.
Not that I want to eat from Monday to Friday. No. An actual scientific meal plan. It costs around anywhere between 70 to even 150,000 Kenyan shillings, and I'm telling you because I'm already on one. And so when I saw this innovation and even from your explanation, what it's able to do, I can guarantee you, ukiachilia kwa market hivi, if you just get like a proper marketing team, I think you'll get a lot of people, because again, it's difficult. It takes I don't know about your side, Castro, but on my end, it took around 1 week to have the doctor develop one. He will then charge you to send it to you, and then again charge you consultancy moving forward. Yeah, so having that, I think that's something that I'll be very, very interested in kind of seeing how that develops.
Yeah.
And
Mark, I'd like to understand, within LeBora, do you have any specific feature you feel like stands out, like than the others, like one that you feel like this one, which one? Like, do you have any?
LeBora is currently still in development, we have some features that we feel that will add as we grow, as we develop. Because currently we still have the prototype live. Anyone can test it out. But we are still planning, we are still making plans on how we will develop it as a fully now fledged platform that has even additional sections where people can can be educated more on having the importance of having a better diet. So it will be kind of a full platform where even we can have nutritionists have a place on that platform that they can do something that is in line with our vision as LeBora. So it's still in development. Currently, the only feature that we have is generating meal plans in line with your BMI and everything. That is now the prototype. But we believe that in the course of a few months, we'll have something that is concrete, something that can be now out in the market.
The content space looks interesting. The content space looks interesting. As in, you can bring in some of the specialists to maybe just share something, whether it's in form of audio, video. I think that always kind of it gets people excited about a platform very, very quickly.
And I hope it's patented, like you have already patented everything.
That is also in the pipeline, and that is the key thing that we want to focus on.
You have to do that immediately.
Because now
it's
an idea is an idea to everyone. Even though they hear it from me and you have not patented it, it can be an idea to someone else and they can patent it. So that is the key thing that we need to focus even before we think about scaling up or developing, building it up. So that is also in the pipeline.
Right.
So for the listeners who are tuning in, you talked about it being AI powered. Could you just kindly take us through what that means in terms of the technology that you integrated and how that has enhanced now its productivity?
Wow. So AI powered, let me start by just explaining the AI itself. The AI means that it's, in layman's term, it's doing what a human being can do, but it's not controlled by any human being. For instance, you've said that the doctor generated a meal plan for you in a week's time.
So based on all the data that I gave to him.
So now being that is human intelligence, he used human intelligence to come up with the in line with everything that he has learned in the course. But now for AI, being that it has also learned from existing data, it has been taught and trained, it's now using its own intelligence, that is now the artificial intelligence, to come up with the meal plan. When I say AI powered, it means that it comes up with the meal plan as a doctor would do, but now it's using without any human control, or it's doing it by its own thoughts, if I'm to say that way. So that is the meaning of AI powered. So under the hood, what happens is that after you submit, the same way, let me just give both analogies at the same time.
No problem.
When you submit your details, it's the same case as going to a doctor and telling him taking your weight, height, and your age. Then you also take records that, do you have any other medical condition, possibly assuming I'm diabetic, I tell him I'm diabetic. So the same way he records somewhere and then selects specific meals, because, being that you are, this is your BMI, being that this is your age, and being that you are diabetic, I'll give you this meal plan and this meal plan. The same case applies when you submit that that is that data to the AI. It sees that, this guy is diabetic, or these are BMI, and being from the data that I have trained on, this is the meal plan that I should suggest. The same way the doctor will say, from my previous experience, being that you're diabetic, this meal should not come to your favor. So that's the same case that applies now when you go to AI. So it's the AI now gives you from its existing data. If you're diabetic, this meal is not might not work for diabetic people. So will suggest this other meal. If possibly you have these other, so that's the same case. The same way applies now this one, but this one is using now artificial intelligence itself. That's the meaning of AI.
Again, just for the sake of the listeners, it has to be trained to be able
Absolutely.
to.
It has to be trained.
You like developed the AI models from scratch or using OpenAI's models?
Thank you. So actually, when I'm saying AI powered, I need to be saying AI powered into quotes because currently the prototype, we didn't have time to come up with the model from scratch and then train the model, being that requires a lot of data, compute, it requires a lot of time. So for the prototype, what is there is the existing OpenAI API. So we are just making an hit and passing that data and kind of making a system prompt, and then it is giving us the exact data.
And fine-tuning and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Nice.
That we are doing that under the hood. That is everything that is happening.
Yeah.
But now for the project that we are planning to come up with, we'll have our database with local meals from Kenya or from different, because we can start from Kenya, then continue growing.
Then
definitely. So having now specific data, we can now train our model, and then so for the prototype, what we are doing is just the OpenAI API, but now building the project, we'll have to build our own models from scratch. And
Okay. Yeah, that's a very exciting project. Yeah. So I also saw that you are able to win. I don't know if I'm quoting this directly. You are able to secure a position with Microsoft for Startups Founders Hub. So could you talk to us about that a little bit? Yeah. How did that come about, and what are some of the benefits you're kind of experiencing as a member of that specific club?
Sure. So the Microsoft for Startups Founders Hub is a game changer, not only to our startup, but to any startup that joins that program.
Okay.
One thing is because of the benefits that you receive from the program. So one thing is that if I'm just state a few benefits that will really come in handy more so when we are starting out. For instance, you are given the Azure credits. As we said, coming up with your servers, it's expensive.
Very expensive. Yeah.
Even paying for the cloud services, more so assuming that you've deployed your machine learning models on cloud, you have also hosted your platform on cloud, and everything you are running it from cloud, it's also expensive. But now being that this program is there, and you have already joined the program, it will be easier for us to set up even everything on cloud, being that you have been given the credits and support from Microsoft. The other thing about the program that we still feel it will really come in handy is, for instance, the mentorship. You are given Microsoft engineers who mentor you. But this is now after you get to level 2. Currently, we are still at level 1 because getting to level 2 is having now your startup registered. Once we have it registered with the government and you submit those documents to them, we get now to level 2 where you access more benefits like the mentorship from Microsoft engineers. Believe you me, when you're being mentored by Microsoft engineers, besides the technical skills, they still have that business they understand business better than we. Absolutely. So you'll find out that when we are in that state where we are receiving mentorship from Microsoft engineers, it will be easier for us to scale up. They'll be telling you, okay, this the Azure, because they're also Microsoft engineers, so you can also request for Azure engineers. So it'll tell you, okay, if you use this service, this is the best way to tune your settings or how to set up things so that you cannot consume a lot of credits or to reduce in case you are expecting a lot of traffic, this is how you need to tune. So you see that mentorship, that support from Microsoft will really come in handy in we scaling up, in we building our project. That is our startup ground up. So that the program is really a game changer, as I've said. Right from the benefits, there's currently we're only enjoying the benefits that we have not yet started using. That is the Azure, because they've already
the Azure credits
activated
are very, very key, especially if you combine that and also just getting somebody who can be able to kind of educate you on how to budget.
Absolutely.
Because that's the thing. Because even for the e-learning platform that we had, during the first 3 months or so, we used to pay around $330 US. just to maintain the platform, its content, all the other related databases and stuff. So getting somebody who could be able to guide us on this, streamlining the budget a little bit, I think that made a very, very big difference, because once our Azure credits were over as an organization, you had to now step up and kind of maintain it on your own. So I think even with that alone, I still think that you'll benefit a lot from this, figuring out how you want to eventually launch the product out there. Yeah.
And Mark, do you feel like there has been some influence towards the way the approach you're using? Like, has there been any influence by you joining the Microsoft for Starters Founders Hub? Like, do you feel like it has influenced the way you scale your prototype?
So, are you asking whether possibly we've gone a step higher besides the prototype, that is after getting into the Microsoft for Startup Founders Hub?
How has it influenced your approach towards scaling or building a prototype?
Because obviously, as you are developing it within the bootcamp environment, you had like a specific vision of how this will eventually turn out. But as you've said, as you continued engaging with the experts here and there, accessing specific services, I'm sure that mindset kind of just streamlined itself pole. So yeah,
it has been of influence more so after figuring out new things that you can add, because after getting to the Microsoft for Startups Founders Hub, our startups platform, we see the benefits that we can redeem even more than the expectation that we had in mind. The things the specific tools that we had to use. Because at times you go there and you find, okay, you mean this tool is on this platform. So this meaning that when we get to the place where we are building AI models, because they have already added the weights and biases service where you are given support on that, you find out that, this is here. So this will really come in handy. So we need to have this also in that list. We can use this for enhancing our project or enhancing our startup or the entire workflow. So it has really influenced us in terms of even tweaking a few objectives that we had, adding more things that we didn't expect we will possibly be adding. And I'm super grateful for this program, being that we have not yet started consuming a lot of benefits, because at a go you cannot redeem everything. But as we grow, I believe we'll also be the more advice we continue receiving, the more support we continue receiving, and also now that guidance, being that we have everything to our disposal. Everything is there on the platform. You log in, you find everything is there, and you are like, wow, you don't know what to use specifically, but as you continue, I believe the program will really come in handy when you're building the project.
Okay. So if I can focus on the big picture a little bit, where do you see this process leading up to, in terms of from 5 years from now? How do you envision this application being able to change the lives of millions and millions of Kenyans moving forward?
Wow. So let me just use it as an example, because you've told us you recently went to a doctor and they gave you a meal plan. And you had to pay for it, right? Yeah. So you see, for our case, it will be easier for anyone who accesses our platform. It will be cheaper in terms of time. As you can see it. So our goal is to have gone all over, because we believe in the cost will. The more data we get, it will be easier, because when we have data for Nigeria, that is the meal plans, that is the meals at Nigeria, it's easier now to also add to train a model with that data and have the model working in Nigeria. So what our entire goal is to have helped Africa and even overseas, people can get specific meal plans without even having to wait for 1 week, without even having to use a lot of pay a lot, and also pay the doctor, and also being that it's AI powered, we'll continue updating our database. But for the doctor, it's what they have from the word go, the knowledge that they want,
5, 10, 15 years ago.
Absolutely. Now, but for the AI, it will be kind of updated daily, on daily basis, adding more features. At times you'll find out possibly you can even take a photo of your meal and ask it, is this I am this and this and that?
What's the composition?
What's the composition? Is this right for me to eat? Possibly. Is it healthy? So I believe as we continue to grow, we'll have something that is something huge. Hopefully, I'm optimistic.
So it's going to be. It's going to be because again, it's not just a simple issue of weight gain or loss. There are people who go through so many different conditions. There are people who have afflictions around acidity. There are people who are dealing with IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. So it's such a large scope that you can be able to kind of attack or target and still be able to really just help people by the way. Because even if you're to put a subscription model, I can assure you, based on the targets you have, you'll still find people preferring to use that than going somewhere and paying a consultancy of 3,000 to 4,000 shillings, seeing a doctor who'll give you a meal plan and then tell you after a month, come and again pay the same amount to see. So I think that's something that can be very, very big, because again, it's not just weight loss. It's not just weight gain. It's about a healthier way of kind of living. And I think if you can solve that, there's a lot that's within that specific space. So I think we've learned quite a bit about what you're doing. And by the way, for the listenership, this is a young man who is still in school. So you can see where the technological landscape is and how important it is to, again, just take the initiative. Because, again, I keep going back to the fact that most of this is self-taught. And which, again, not a lot of people are aware. They just think that, okay, I'll go to school. How many years? 4 years. By the time 4 years end, I'll be an expert in all of these different things. So with that being said, I wanted to actually shift gears a little bit towards now your role as a student ambassador. What inspired you to now decide to give back to the learning community? Because I think from what I've gathered early in the discussion, you seem to work very, very closely with students in terms of just, encouraging them and empowering with the knowledge and insights around that specific space. So what inspired you to kind of decide, I want to give back?
So one thing is that, as I said, when I'm getting into campus, it was a challenge. Getting resources, getting the roadmap. But eventually, being that after joining the communities, not only the communities, after just showing even my activeness and also started trying to figure out things on my own, and they saw my commitment, I found mentors, I found people who are guiding me, who are ready to even to set up sessions with me to give me more details on the path I need to take. That is now after the struggle of trying to go the entire journey myself without knowing the way forward, knowing the destination, but now without knowing the path. So being that I found this guidance and support crucial, and it really came in handy in my life, I decided to pay it forward. So decided that now, being that I've also seen my journey is excelling, or it's taking a different path because these people came in and they supported me. I can also do the same and help others now who are coming up. Now, being a student ambassador, I am there to help them have a clear path to success. Assuming that because now I have gone a number of things, I have checked a number of things. A student comes to me and they tell me that I want to get into tech, but I don't know the field. It will be easier for them to get into tech once they approach me, because I have a good roadmap on how I can advise them on the way forward. So being that I saw that the mentors who came in, they came in handy, people came to give me guidance, came in handy. I decided also to now become an ambassador to help them that are coming up. So that is my entire role. That is the reason why I decided to become an ambassador to help students who are coming up. And because it is inspiring, it's inspiring when a student comes and tell you after about 2-3 months, oh, this was a challenge to me. And finally, I found my path in tech. it was challenging to me to get into web, but because of the sessions that you are hosting, I feel the field is awesome. I didn't have the resources, but the resources that you shared with me, they have. I even have screenshots of people who have told me that they got a job because of a course. I even shared on X, that is Twitter. I shared with them a course. I didn't recall even them because it was about 6-8 months later. They're telling me, hey, I got a data analyst job. Actually, that day, it was a guy from Nigeria because he texted me that 2 + 2 something. 234, yeah. So he told me that the course that you shared with me in machine learning, I got a data analyst job, and that is a course that I followed up. So that creates excitement in me when someone comes and tells you that they have made it because you played part in their life. So yeah, that is why I decided to now come up and just help them that are.
And you're seeing the impact.
Absolutely, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how about you, Castro? I know, by the way, we are blessed today to have 2 ambassadors of the Microsoft Learn Student Program. So how about you? What made you kind of decide to also go back and give back something to the learning community at your university?
Yeah, thank you, Tom. I like what Mark has mentioned, paid forward. One thing Mark doesn't know is I'm a product of this organization. I was a student back then in 2014.
2014, yeah.
Yeah, and back then we did some online work and IT essentials. I didn't have a degree. I was a dropout BCom from Seku University in Machakos. So what you've mentioned about paying it forward resonates with me very well, because I was given free resources, everything free. Whatever you can name, name it free by Arquict. And then years later, I went back to the university, and now paying it forward started when I started offering free learning sessions to students on how they can freelance on you know Upwork, platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and many others. And I was doing it for free because I remembered that organization that empowered me with these skills, and I'm able to make money, I have the knowledge. How can I be of impact to someone else? So I took the responsibility, and I was organizing for sessions and offering free sessions, no payments to students. And luckily, when I was in that year, the Ministry of ICT came to our university, and we had a club, Ajira Club. I also know you know Ajira Club.
Absolutely.
And I was elected as the CEO due to the work that I had done earlier before Ajira was founded. So later on, I heard of Microsoft Learn in 2020, and after realizing it's also a community where you get to volunteer. You get to volunteer, mentor students, organize for events, and just give talks about tech and how it can change the livelihoods of guys here in Africa. I took the responsibility as well. I applied, I was accepted, and to me, I feel like just giving back what someone gave you it's something that can't go unnoticed by God. God will always reward you back later. And if I'm to mention this, even the university as I was learning, someone offered to take me to school, my cousin. So like I feel like these people that are trying to help me are also pushing me to also help someone else. You understand? So that thing of helping is what I feel like as ambassadors are born with. And it's something that can never go away from us. And I feel like it's going to be within us and our generations and their generations. Yeah,
and that's why I would commend you guys, even just before you continue. I would like to just commend you guys for the work that you are doing, because again, it makes a difference. We are all testament here that it actually makes a difference. We wouldn't have known what the space looks like, what we can be able to pursue, if somebody somewhere didn't say, okay, let me take him under my wing. So yeah, I mean, you guys have done an amazing job. I've followed Castro's for a long time, and it seems as if you're on a similar path, and I know you're going to create that level of impact as well. Sure. Yeah, but there's something you wanted to share. Yeah.
I wanted to mention something just to echo something that Castro has mentioned. The ambassadors are not paid. For instance, being a Microsoft ambassador, Microsoft are not paying me. Being a Google Developer Students Club lead, they are not paying me. So it's something that should come from within, that comes from within, that you need to do it. Because I'm advising this because of them that want to later become ambassadors. That's a common question, being that now currently there's an ongoing there are going ongoing interviews and for the next GDSE lead, because you're normally given 1 year term to help students and to grow your community. So for them, that a number of people come and ask me, are you working for Google? Are you working for Microsoft? Now that's why these the ambassadorial program, or this program where you decide to become an ambassador, it's your room to grow in different fields, but also a room to help others come up with without expecting any pay. So it's something that should come from within, and I think that is also a key thing that Castro has mentioned. Sure.
Yeah, that's very important. That's how you grow a technological community, and I think that's, again, it's just to commend you for the work that you guys are doing. And hopefully we can find ways of supporting some of your initiatives. Again, I keep panning to Castro because he's here, but he even ended up inspiring us who trained him in 2013, 2014. Yeah, we had to look him up and say, hey, Castro, what are you doing these days? How can I support that? How can I make sure that you succeed? So keep it up. It's very inspiring. It's very amazing what you're doing. And so the last question I would like to ask you, being that you're still in school, you're seeing how young people such as yourself are kind of, hungering to thrive within that specific space. What advice would you give them when you look back at what you've done, how you've done it, and what you've been able to achieve? What would you advise a first year coming in, wanting to be a software engineer, data analyst, cloud computing specialist, all these different things? What will be the advice you'd give them as they try and figure out what to do?
Keep God first. That is key. Because one thing is that He'll grace you to find your path.
Yes.
Because at times even you might, I don't know whether it's the grace of God possibly that came in. I believe it's the grace of God that came in. I found people who came in handy, who supported me. I found my path. So keeping God first is one key thing. The second thing is that I would like to mention this, is that university, for them that are joining campus, it's not there to give you a job. Because that is one key thing that students fail to recognize. That's why you find people complaining that they are done with their 4th year, they have graduated, there are no jobs. University is there to create a platform for you now to find your path. That's why I'm saying that we have communities. For instance, we have the community that is the Google Developer Students Club community. Despite me being the lead, it's a community and it's for the students. We have the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors program. It's for the students. We organize sessions for the students. So being that the university has given us that platform to organize those sessions, it's there to help you get to your goal. It's not there to take you to a goal. And I don't know whether I did phrase it perfectly. Let me just give an example. Currently, we have a lot of issues with most of them that are pursuing technical courses, computer science, information technology, software engineering in campus. Because at times you find out that the lecturer is in that computer science class not to teach you to become a data scientist, but to teach you something that will help you become a data scientist. Possibly they'll give you calculus, they'll teach you calculus. They didn't tell you calculus, you'll use it in software engineering or you use it. It's you now to find your path. So one key thing that students need to understand, most of them that are getting to campus, get to campus with ambition, be ambitious. What do you want to get? Try finding things in campus. Try finding people you can network with. We are organizing events. For instance, we have event this weekend. We have another event next weekend in my campus. We have another event next weekend, but one. Students are always welcome to come for free. No one is charging them. But the sessions are there. They have been offered by the group that is offering them for students to come and network, for students to come and learn 1 or 2 things, so that at the end of it all, you have something that you find even your path possibly in tech, or the person you network with, you don't know. As you've said, Castro was here in 2013, he's back, he inspired you people, so you don't know people who you meet even in those events. So one thing I would advise them is that when they get into campus, do not target that degree will give you the job. What your personal inaitango kujituma, you see that kujituma is what will give you the job, is what will make you get to where you want to get into, more so in tech, more so in them that pursuing technical courses. And that is the advice I will give them. And also consistency. When you start this, doing this, if you start learning, if it's learning, because if it's tech, if it's software engineering, it has its roadmap. When you start learning, be consistent. You might start, and if you don't complete the journey, you might not end up where you want to get into. So consistently continue. Just be you. Try to do everything in all your powers to get to where you wanna get into.
Learn a new thing every day.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Yeah, sure.
And always ensure you show up.
Sure.
Oh yeah, by the showing up. Showing up is very, very important. And even just as we conclude, you guys again are very, very privileged. I think for us when we were in school, yes, there were clubs, but not maybe as many as I'm seeing these days. I think for us, we used to have a very lovely boot camp program that we'll do at least every semester. But the fact that some of these things have evolved, and we are seeing service providers like Microsoft and Google as well, kind of jump into that space and play a big role in kind of inspiring the next generation. I think that's amazing. Yeah. So I think for my end, I'm very satisfied. I've learned a lot from you guys. Unless maybe Castro, there's something that we've missed. You being a student ambassador.
Yeah, I only had one question for Mark. Where do you see yourself in the next 3 years? Which companies do you feel like this is where I want to work, or this is the company? This is my, I don't know. This is my which word do I use?
I know you mentioned Microsoft a lot. You have a lot of passion to work with projects related to Microsoft.
I'm even shivering. I feel goosebumps when you're mentioning Microsoft.
So how do you see that relationship? How would you want to see it evolve as you finish campus and now go into the job market?
So as I reflect on the journey ahead, that is my journey. There's a dream that I hold close to my heart. And that dream has been nurtured and fueled by the experiences and also the opportunities that have been provided by the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program. So actually, one thing I normally say is that dream is not just to land a job. It's a dream to pursue something greater. That is, to join a community of innovators, to join a family of change makers. And as you said, that dream is to one day be part of the Microsoft family. And actually, I say this with a lot of humility because one thing, that path to get into Microsoft, it's not paved with ease because, there's a lot of competition. So it requires continuous learning, dedication, and total commitment to excellence. And one thing is that Microsoft, joining Microsoft, the one thing that is in me is that it's not about just a career inspiration. Microsoft is a company that is changing that is shaping the future. It's a company that is inspiring individuals and organization to achieve more. It's a company that is doing a lot of great things. So me joining Microsoft is not just a career inspiration, it's a vision to be part of that mission. And seriously, isn't that a beautiful mission to be part of?
It is. I wish all the best, Mark. It is.
Sure.
And that's the best you can wish for. I think it doesn't get highlighted as much as maybe it needs to. But in your lifetime, if you can be able to do something that impacts people around you, no amount of money can compensate for that.
True.
That's why Steve Jobs is Steve Jobs. That's why Satya Nadella. That's why all of these different people who have used technology to impact the society around them. That's why they stand where they stand. Nobody gets to talk about how much they are worth. It's how they used technology to shape our socioeconomic landscape. So thank you very much, Mark. Thank you very much, Castro. This has been a very informative and fun discussion. And to the listenership, I think I'm sure you're going to enjoy this and much more that we are going to be releasing over the coming weeks or so. And remember, the discussion is mainly around innovation and technology and how it's been used to significantly scale up our socioeconomic landscape. And hopefully we can be able to see more guests who are passionate and, well-versed in this specific area like you. And asanteni sana. And subscribe for more videos about this same topic. And hopefully we'll see you the next time. Peace.